Artificial intelligence is making decisions that affect our lives every single day. We're talking about everything from the news you see to whether or not you get approved for a loan. But what happens when we can't understand why it's making those decisions? That right there is the black box problem, and cracking it open is honestly one of the most important challenges in tech today.
Just think about this for a second. Imagine an AI analyzes your medical scan, and it comes back with a diagnosis. It's incredibly accurate, maybe even more so than a human. But what if your doctor asks the machine how it came to that conclusion, and the machine just can't answer? Can you really, truly trust that decision when your health is on the line? This is exactly why we need to look inside the box.
And here's the real dilemma, the central puzzle. AI's incredible power comes from its complexity. It can spot patterns that we humans would just never see. But that very same complexity is what makes its decision-making process a complete mystery. This is what we call the black box problem, and it creates a huge risk when we start relying on AI for critical decisions in places like finance, medicine, or even transportation.
So let's really dig into this AI's black box problem. At its heart, it's all about the mystery of the how and the why behind an AI's conclusion, right? We can see the data we put in, and we can see the answer that comes out, but that whole process in the middle is completely hidden from view. And this mystery? Well, it creates some major problems. 4 big ones. First, there's trust and accountability. I mean, if an AI denies you a loan, you have a right to know why, right? Second, you've got regulatory compliance. All around the world, new laws are popping up that demand automated decisions be explainable. Third, and this is a big one, detecting hidden bias. If an AI is trained on old data, it can accidentally learn unfair patterns, and we would never even know. And finally, it's pretty simple. You just can't fix or improve a system if you don't even understand how it works in the first place. But it's not all doom and gloom. Not at all. In fact, there's an entire field of research dedicated to solving this exact problem. It's called Explainable AI, or XAI for short, and its whole mission is to shine a massive spotlight directly inside that black box.
So what is XAI, really? Well, you can think of it as a powerful toolkit. It's a whole collection of methods and techniques designed specifically to help us humans understand, and maybe more importantly, trust the decisions that algorithms are making. It's all about building a bridge over that huge gap between machine complexity and human understanding.
The goal of XAI is actually pretty simple, but it's also profound. It's to transform that opaque, mysterious black box into a totally transparent glass box where we can see all the gears turning and understand exactly how a decision was made.
Okay, so how do we actually open this box? How does XAI work in the real world? Well, it turns out there are 2 main approaches, 2 different paths we can take to get that transparency we're looking for. Those 2 paths are called intrinsic models and post hoc methods. Now, intrinsic models are designed to be transparent from the very start. Think of it like building an engine with a glass casing, so you can literally watch every single part move. Post hoc methods, on the other hand, are different. They're tools we use to analyze complicated models that already exist. This is more like a master mechanic running all kinds of sophisticated diagnostics on a sealed engine to figure out what's going on inside without ever having to take it apart. Let's look at a classic example of an intrinsic model, a decision tree. Honestly, it's just a simple flowchart of yes or no questions. Is the patient's cholesterol over 200? Yes. Okay, follow that branch. Is the patient's age over 50? Yes. Follow that one. And boom, you reach a conclusion. High risk. The logic is crystal clear, easy for anyone to follow, and 100% transparent.
Now let's check out the other approach. This is a perfect example of a post hoc method called a counterfactual explanation. Instead of trying to show you the entire complex model, which would be overwhelming, it gives you one simple, incredibly useful piece of information. It answers the question, what one thing needed to be different for the outcome to change? It's a really powerful way to explain a single decision that's intuitive and, better yet, actionable.
Okay, so this is all fascinating in theory, but where is this technology actually making a difference right now? This is where XAI stops being just some academic concept and really starts to matter in our daily lives. XAI is already being used in some of the highest stakes fields you can imagine. In healthcare, it's helping build trust between doctors and these new AI diagnostic tools. In finance, it's providing those crucial, legally required explanations for loan decisions. For self-driving cars, understanding why a car decided to swerve or brake is literally a matter of life and death. And in the legal world, it's making sure that automated decisions are fair and can be properly audited.
Let's get even more specific. Picture a radiologist looking at a really complex medical scan. A technique called a saliency map can create a heat map overlay on that image, literally lighting up the exact pixels and regions that made the AI suspect there was a problem. So the doctor doesn't just get a yes or no answer. They see the evidence the AI used, which lets them confirm the finding with their own expertise. It's the perfect human-machine partnership.
So it's pretty clear that XAI is here and it's already having a huge impact. But the journey is definitely not over. So what does the road ahead look like for creating AI that we can all truly, deeply trust?
Look, it's not a completely solved problem yet. There's often this tough trade-off. Usually, the most powerful and accurate AI models are also the hardest to explain. These XAI methods can also be slow and computationally expensive to run. And here's a big one. An explanation that makes perfect sense to a data scientist might still be totally confusing to a bank customer or a patient. We're still working on figuring out what makes a good explanation for everyone.
But the future here is incredibly exciting. The whole field is shifting its focus toward what we call human-centered explanations. Explanations designed for everybody, not just the experts. We're seeing some amazing work on real-time explanations for things like self-driving cars that have to justify split-second decisions. And, maybe most importantly, XAI is becoming a key tool for building fairness and ethics right into our AI systems from the very beginning.
And this all leaves us with this final, crucial question. As machines grow smarter and smarter, how do we make sure they stay accountable to us? Explainable AI isn't just a technical solution, it's the key to building a future where we can confidently and safely trust the very technology that is so rapidly shaping our world.